Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And in this case, we're talking about magical experiences. We're honored to be joined by Corey Ross, co-founder of Lighthouse Immersive. We're talking about Immersive Disney Animation. How are you doing?
Excellent. Happy to be here, Jeremy. How are you?
Doing well. So we've had a chance to spotlight the amazingness, the shows that you bring to life in Nashville. And so that's exactly what we're talking about here. And once again, it's Immersive Disney Animation. But let's start with a little bit of background. When you talk about Lighthouse Immersive and bringing so many different things to life using technology, in this case, animation, stories, visuals, go ahead and give us some background on Lighthouse Immersive, and then we'll dive in.
Well, I mean, we really are a success story that came out of the pandemic. We had, just before the pandemic, we'd sort of signed up to work with an artistic group to create a show called Immersive Van Gogh. And we launched that in Toronto. It was such an incredible success that we ended up doing it in 20 cities across North America, one of which, of course, was Nashville. And so we launched in Nashville, I guess, just about a year ago now. We found the audience is fantastic. The venue is incredible. It was originally a movie theater. Then became a supermarket, but to bring it back to the artistic world and make it into a space where you can see artistic things is just incredible. And what happens when you come into one of our immersive shows is that you're completely surrounded by all of the projection. You enter a whole world. It's on the floors, it's on the walls, it's on the columns, on the architecture, and you are inside of it. So in the case of Van Gogh, you were inside a Van Gogh painting. In the case of Immersive Disney Animation, you're inside your favorite Disney films from 100 years of Disney's history of producing incredible films. So we've got over 45 characters from different films that appear in this immersive show. Everyone from Peter Pan and Cinderella and Mickey Mouse's first appearance and Steamboat Willie, all the way to Encanto, Frozen, Little Mermaid. Really, it's incredible. And it takes you through the best songs and the most incredible scenes, but you're right in the middle. So many kids these days experience Disney on an iPhone or an iPad, watching it on Disney Plus. So often we don't even get to movie theaters anymore. Here is an opportunity to be completely immersed in the world. We also have these incredible scenic elements that were designed by David Corrins, the set designer of Hamilton, working with the Disney Archive team. And they've created these sort of stations where you learn how to draw Disney characters and learn what goes into creating a Disney animation film. So there's a learning opportunity for the young and the young at heart going in. And then there's this incredible show. And it's just like the people just love it. It's for children who run around. The floors interact with you and they move around and the pictures form around you and magic happens with you. We have these incredible bracelets that you can wear that light up and change colors depending on where you're standing in the gallery and what the scene and what is happening. So kids just love all that stuff, but grandparents love it and adults love it. People come on date night. It really is 100 years of Disney means that there's 100 years and multi-generations of fans. And we've worked with Disney Animation to create a show that scratches that itch for every generation.
Give us some behind the scenes on how long you've been working on this, because, this doesn't happen overnight. And then how you were able to select kind of the moments, because obviously there's so much to choose from.
It's an embarrassment of riches. The oeuvre is just incredible. Listen, we worked very closely with Disney Animation. We've been working with them for a year and a half on this show. So the animators and the team over at Disney really knew what were the best scenes and what touches people the most. And we worked with them, and we created version after version of what we call a rough cut to see what worked and what resonated. And then we had to take it into the immersive world and look at, when you look at a screen, it's got a certain dimension, 1080 dimension, but we need a 360 degree. So as we look at the scenes, we have to look at how we can blow this up and explode this and make this a world that you're completely encompassed by and surrounded by. And so that's the process. It took a long time, and it was a lot of hard work, and it was a huge team. We had Miles Dale, who's an Academy Award-winning film producer, and as I mentioned, David Corrins, the set designer of Hamilton. So we had top drawer talent working with us, and of course the Disney Animation team, to make this the incredible show that it is.
And I think that's what makes this very different is you're basically putting together not just a movie, but a show, an experience, a concert. Like it's everything all intertwined. And that's what makes it immersive. You're fully immersed in this experience. And so you mentioned the venue. Talk about the technology, the set pieces, some of the things that you've had to bring in to bring all of this to life.
Well, I mean, there's over 90 million pixels projected in the gallery. So we have almost 100 projectors projecting in every direction. There's miles and miles of fiber optic cable. I think if you stretch it along the highway, you get all the way from Nashville to Dollywood, at least, maybe further. Miles and miles of fiber optic cable. There's moving lights. There's special sensors that detect how the audience is moving and where they're standing, and also, correlate with the timing of the show, so that you get the bracelets and the interactive elements happening. By the way, we have the best bubble machines that you ever imagine. When you're under the water in Little Mermaid, suddenly the room becomes full of bubbles, and people just love that, especially little people. But it really does immerse you, and it's cutting edge technology to take you there.
And that's actually where I was going to go next is the bubbles, the wristbands. When you talk about some of your favorite moments, obviously you can't pick one or two necessarily because they're all favorites, but give us a little bit of a teaser on some of the ones that stand out to you top of mind.
Listen, the climax of the show, of course, is Frozen and Elsa. We have the same bubble machines that made underwater bubble make these magical snow bubbles that are full of smoke when you pop them, and people can't believe it. I'm a producer. What gets me excited is the interaction of people with the art that the artists that I work with create. So when I see how excited and blown away and how marvelous the experience is for people, that's my favorite part of the show. So it all comes to a climax with Frozen, and you're asking me for my favorite part. That's it. Another favorite part, I suppose, is really the drawing. When people realize that they can be trained to draw Disney characters, again, it's the engagement. I get off on public engagement with art.
Well, and I think that's the cool element is that you're thinking of all these different ways to engage the audience. And so they're immersed in the experience, but just like you're talking about, learning to then take it to the next step of how can I kind of bring this home to be able to draw the characters. All of those are special moments that create memories. And whether that's memories on a date night with your family, your children, all these things are special moments. And I think that's also what makes this so special for Nashville and why it's a success around the nation and, drawing in tourism from all over the world. And so share a little bit of just the hours, the price, give us some of the basic logistics on the business side and the runtime. When does all this go through?
Okay. So tickets are available at DisneyImmersive.com. And they start from $30. It varies depending on day of the week. There's discounts for bringing a group of 4 or a group of 10, so families can come and groups can come. What else did you ask? It takes about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half to go through the show. We let people in every hour and 15 minutes, so I can't really give you the timing. But you'll find it on the website, and we're operating daily. But we're only there through the end of the summer. So this is a big opportunity. Kids are getting out of school now. Now's the time. Come down and see the show. It's amazing and it's a lot of fun, but limited time only.
And that's kind of the secret on this is limited time only. And so when you think about this, there is an urgency in terms of being able to go and, be able to access this experience. What's next when you look at going through and obviously the success of Van Gogh and that theme and now Disney and this theme, when you look forward, what's next?
Well, listen, Disney is a huge project for our company because we're just a small and frankly newish company that came out of COVID. We're taking the show to Tokyo where it opened a month ago. And so there's an international rollout that we're very busy with. And in terms of what's next after this, I have all sorts of ideas, but nothing that I can announce. Sorry, Jeremy, today. So
no breaking news yet.
Posted, and we'll be sure to tell you because I love coming on the show and chatting with you. So we'll be back.
When you look at it from the business lens and being able to pull all of these details together, like I said, this is a show, it's a movie, it's a concert, it's all these moving pieces, but it also takes a full team and it takes a lot of, community collaboration and things like that. When you look at it from that business lens, talk about some of the things that you've learned in looking at Van Gogh and taking that success with Nashville. What has allowed you to create this level of success with the collaboration? In other words, what have you learned in those moments that is allowing you to be more successful in these moments?
Listen, the number one thing I suppose I've learned is that you have to have an incredible team. You have to have great partners. You have to have great employees. You really have to have a team that wants to help you get to the finish line. So that I can tell you as an entrepreneur is probably the number one lesson I've learned. You have to have a can-do attitude. Things can be tough. There can be very tough days, and you have to jump up the next day and keep going at it. It's a marathon. It is never a race. And so, I mean, I don't know if you have listeners who have entrepreneurial ambitions, but those would be my top two pieces. The team around you is really important, and knowing that you're in for a marathon and not a race is also key.
Is there anything on the technology front? Because obviously this relies, just like you were talking about, on technology. When you look at the trends and where things are headed, artificial intelligence and all this kind of stuff, is there anything that you have, your attention on that says, wow, we can really integrate this in for the future of our shows? What makes you excited on kind of the technology side for being able to do even bigger, better, grander, things now and in the future?
Well, I think you nailed it with artificial intelligence. We've got our eye on that because I really think that as we want to build out these shows, it's a lot of hand work to build out these shows. And so in order to create, as I described, create what's all around you and underneath you, we have a show that we're running in Chicago all about Mozart. And of course, Mozart isn't the painter and he isn't an animated film. It's mostly music, but we wanted to create visuals. And most of our visuals there were created by artificial intelligence. But I think as we go forward and we want to create more interactive experiences, the artificial intelligence is going to power that. It's going to be able to create on the spot experiences that react to the public and change with them. And so I'm really looking forward to how that gets integrated into our immersive entertainment world.
How does this change your perspective when you go to a movie theater, when you look at a movie or go to a concert? How does this change the way you view that art to be able to say, well, we could do so much more with this? So how do you view art now in terms of going out to films and projects and concerts?
Listen, I don't think one thing replaces the other. I love films. I love concerts. I love going to the art gallery. I was asked a lot when we were doing Van Gogh, oh, are you, fighting the art gallery? Are you, people coming to you instead of going to see a Van Gogh painting? I said, no, if they come and have an amazing experience with us, they're going to want to go to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. They're going to want to see more and more and more art. And so I don't think radio stops television. I didn't think television stopped movies. I don't think this stops anything. This is just another great way to interact and have an amazing experience. Go, we're working with the set designer of Hamilton the Musical. Go see Hamilton the Musical. Go see this. Go see as much as you can, because that's what makes life so incredible.
And I think, to your point, it all plays off of each other, just like you're talking about, is it opens up access points. It opens up your heart to want to do more, learn more. And so in a way, you get to have a deeper appreciation to then, make you want to do more with those experiences. So I love that aspect of it's all about collaboration and synergy. None of this is competitive. And so it's complementary. I love that.
Absolutely. This is all comes together to give you a rich life. And that's what you deserve. Like you deserve to have a life where you can go out with your kids, you can go out with your grandparents, you can go out on date night and have amazing experiences. That's what really, to me, is the building block of having an incredible quality of life.
I agree. And I think that's also, it's a fun opportunity for Nashville. But as we've been talking about throughout, when you look at the regional, national, and international draw to be able to pull in powerful opportunity to engage and open up access for literally people and families all around the world in a very magical way, for sure. And so you mentioned it throughout, but mention it again as we wrap up. Website, social media, where do we go to learn more about Lighthouse Immersive and also obviously Immersive Disney Animation?
Go to DisneyImmersive.com. It's all there.
There you go. That makes it easy. Well, once again, Corey Ross, co-founder of Lighthouse Immersive. Thank you for all you and your amazing team do. So excited for, how you bring these shows to life and really open up the access. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeremy. Bye-bye.